Thank you for your presentation, Bronwyn. I chose to introduce my colleague also here, Desmond. You work with you with all the cities. He is the data cruncher in our company. He produces all the nice figures that based on the data you have provided us. So Switch it was a very nice project, and it helped me, to lose weight. In a way or another. It improved in a way my health, and I'm very happy that I have been part of this nice team. Now, evaluation is always, as Bronwyn said, is very tricky. How to transform nice experiences. I don't know how it works, this one. Just pressing the button. Okay. Let's try like this. Okay, I think it's restarting the program. Okay, so how you transform the success, the nice images, the nice smiles, that you have all seen in invaluable results, invaluable data that can, our cities can take further on, and create more sustainable mobility programs based on what we produce, we have done here, and how you can, as followers, take further on, our messages. You need evidence, and why not? I don't know if somebody from the European Commission is here. Maybe they can tailor better their programs in the future based on the evidence that we can find. Now, our job in this project is to put questions. Does it work? What does it work best? Is it effective? Does it have an impact? Was it cost effective? What we can learn all from this process that we have done. So putting these questions, we try to give an answer to you today. I don't spend too much time on evaluation method. It's quite thorough, and it was a very comprehensive method. We have produced a very, very strong document at the beginning of the project. It is available, I think, and some my colleagues put the information how to do the evaluation in the take-up materials. So anyhow, just give us a sign of life, and we'll provide you. The important thing to mention is the evaluation was embedded in the campaign, and this is very, very important to mention. Now, at this moment, we do not have all the analysis done for all the data received, because we have received even last 10 days ago some information, so you can imagine we do not have the final results. However, we try to give you a flavor of our data. Very important to mention that the data and the structure of the results is based on the life change moment, what were the people in the campaign. So let's see actually who are the people in the campaign, who wanted to be part of the campaign. As you can see here, a breakout by gender. There is in London and Gdansk, it's easier to understand why the women are there if you think that they have been focused their campaigns on schools, and probably women are much more eager to take the children to school. In Antwerp is a very active population, and probably this is why the men population is higher in Antwerp. This is just a figure. If you talk about age, again, London and Gdansk reflects very well the young parents population that, it's the school one. It's very interesting to show that Vienna is much more homogeneous. They offer a more homogeneous sample in terms of age. That is very interesting. That is reflected in here in the physical activity. We try to group the participants in the campaign on no activities, the blue, I don't know if you can see it very well, no activity, so they declare that they don't do any physical activity. Mild activity, once or twice a week, they do a bit of a physical activity. Average activity, twice or 3 times a week, they do some activity, and those ones that with high level of activity, more than 5 times a week. Very, very interesting. I come back again on the Vienna data, look at the percentage of high level of activity and look at the age. This means that even that older population is very much aware about the necessity of being active and produces, better quality of life and improves their health, in fact. Now, our goal was to look into how to switch from the car use to active mobility. So we tried to segment the people on participants in the campaign and those ones that they are die-hard drivers, we call them, which were they will never move from their car. They like to use their car. Maybe it's the Top Gear. I like Top Gear, but I still walk. But those ones are the most difficult to convince. The other ones are the pragmatism. They recognize, in a way, the importance of active mobility, but they found impossible to move from their car to other modes. And of course, there are the potential switchers, those ones that they are using cars, but they want to find out more information of how to move from cars to active mobility. Of course, there are carless ones and those ones that they are already using active modes. What we concentrate and what we think it was important in Switch to identify those potential switchers, those ones that mark, those ones are actually the results and that the message and the future campaigns and the future strategies in our cities and probably for you all should concentrate on those particular persons. Now, did Switch change attitudes and behavior? Let's see. Yes, we can see that it was a pattern of travel modes used. We do not have all the data, but we just to show you Vienna and Antwerp. So as you can see, like Petra said earlier, it is an evident decrease in car usage and an increase of walking. In Vienna, but very relevant for us for results, the decrease of the car usage, the frequency of car usage, the same in Antwerp. You saw why, the cycling is very much more important, but also the walking there. Of course, Switch makes indeed people reduce their car trips. And we can show you here from the analysis made to date that in Vienna per week we saved 324 trips done at this moment, made from our analysis at this moment and from Donostia and San Sebastian, 214. And I'm sorry, didn't look very well. Now, who are the switchers? It's important. We saw them there, but who are they? What are their main characteristics? And again, these are information for only Vienna we will look into, and we find out information then for other cities. But who are they in Vienna? Usually they are men. They usually are at middle age. And they would like to find more information and advice. They probably seek for more information tailored for them. They usually are sedentary people, not so much activity levels. And they want to reduce their car use, but they don't sure how. Maybe this is the gentleman trying to find a nice TV documentary and to find information there how to move from the sofa to the car, to the walking and cycling. Now, our conclusion is indeed Switch is an excellent nudge. It's an excellent technique to nudge people to increase the active mobility and to create a habit, like William said at the beginning, at the day. It's very, very important to create this habit, but to preserve it is very, very important. And I think Switch is an excellent technique for nudging people to give them an incentive to think more about their active mobility patterns. Now, we think the switch increases active mobility and improves health. We have a bit of evidence here. It's proportions of the respondents who increased walking and cycling trips. Again, these are preliminary results. We don't have all the results, but you can see immediately here that a Beat the Streak campaign is very well reflected in Dansk. 61% of the respondents, increased the walking, and of course, it's very important to Donostia to see that their efforts in increasing the cycling strategy in the last years pays off a bit, and it's reflected in a number of trips. Now, did the persons involved in the campaign, is active mobility good for health? I think, yes, they did, and you can see, although Anver seems a little bit low, do not worry, we do know all that you have a very strong culture and for high level of knowledge about the active mobility, and you are natural in walking and cycling, and I think this is anyhow is a positive result because it shows that even though you have an awareness about active mobility, you still are interested in increasing it. Now, it's very important for me, the data here from Donostia, that not only that is very, very high level of information received, but it's sustained during the campaign and at the end. So this is a very positive aspect, and probably the city will take it further on as an, let's say, incentive to invest in this type of campaigns. Now, very importantly for our type of projects, did switch reduces the energy and the CO2 emissions. As a direct impact, we can say, yes, there were kilometers saved. Yes, a lot of kilometers saved. And this, you can see here almost 4,000, I'm not sure if you can read it correctly, almost more than 4,000 kilometers saved per week in Vienna. I think it's very important to underline that, of course, there were energy savings in fuels and CO2 emissions that are significant, I think. These are all figures per week. And what is very important for us all to understand, was it cost effective, the campaign? Was it worth it, the campaign? And I think all the savings in energy and CO2 in monetary terms are very well reflected, starting from 14,000 in Anvers to almost 25,000 euros saved per year in the cities is extremely important figure. It's a very, very strong figure. But now we have to understand if this indeed how it paid off, how it pays off, this one, and we have, of course, to look at the campaign costs. Don't look, this is why I prefer to put the values there. Don't look, it's a huge thing of Vienna. It's in monetary terms, it's not such a big difference between the other cities. It's only because they have developed this application, this app, and increased a bit more. But usually with 50,000 euros, this is the average cost for a switch campaign. Now, did it pay back? Will it pay back this campaign? Yes, we think so. And we think that it is about 2.5 years payback period, providing the behavior change remains the same. So it is investments in future investments in behavior. The values of the fuel costs and the energy prices are, in general, remaining stable. And these values are without any other wider benefits included. Now, we made a calculation based on what we provided previously for Vienna. It is a payback of 26 months. So 26 months payback, of the campaign. 26 months. I think it's incredible from my point of view. And for Gdansk, 31 months payback. Incredible and well done. I think it's very important, and I think these are very important figures for the local authorities to work with. Sorry. Okay. What were the lessons learned? Okay, from the city's perspective, the lessons learned, for future motivation, yes, it is a personal interest in being more active, to increase the active levels. These are the personal interests, and as you can see, there are figures there that covers very well this interest of the cities, but very important, and for me it was very interesting, to look into this statistics. They are knowing and understanding the advantages of being much more healthier and doing more active mobility, being more active, walking and cycling, is by saying to your family first, directly to your family and to your members of your peer group, your friends and colleagues. So I think it's very, very important to look into this data. Now, the experience of the campaign, my colleagues already mentioned that we will look into understanding which were the most valuable experiences in the campaign. So my colleagues already mentioned that it was, I think, Dansk or Inaki in San Sebastian mentioned that they look very thorough at the process evaluation, how was the process of implementing the campaign. And we tried to identify barriers in implementing such a campaign from the perspective of yours, and we clustered them on different issues. And we noticed that the technical and organizational barriers were very, very important, and it's not a surprise, it was lack of data available, lack of communication maybe sometimes with other departments, and many, many others. I don't think I have enough time to go through them, but if you need more information, I will be available through the day to give you this information. However, if you look there, these barriers have been transformed in success factors. Why? Because the people, the campaign people, these beautiful people they presented before me, they found solutions. They looked into the solution. They were driven by the drive. They had a drive to implement a successful campaign. Therefore, they tried to find solutions for doing this. From my perspective, the most important data here is the 26%, the political involvement, as a strategical involvement. This demonstrates to me that the cities are very much keen and interested in supporting active mobility in their future sustainable mobility strategies. It's extremely important, that figure. So I close with saying that the main lessons learned for cities were that, yes, they put a lot of effort. It was a lot of innovation requests in thinking out of the box. I'm thinking always at your pair of shoes, handmade pair of shoes, and I want to be a Viennese at this moment. It was a very good collaboration between the cities, between the actors, a lot of local level. Very importantly, to collaborate and to build up on other campaigns experiences that there were I think it's a very, very important lesson that we can learn. And of course, to build up on the actual active mobility culture in your cities. Political support, nevertheless, last but not least, is the very important aspect. Now, if you allow me 2 seconds for my personal conclusions and my team's, conclusions, I think the switch was successful in identifying who are actually the switchers likely to switch. And I think Petra mentioned, we identified also, that those ones that they have received tailored informations have the most likelihood to change, to switch. So it's an extremely important conclusion. We think that it is a successful nudge technique for changing behavior. And of course, there are many evidence that have monetary, monetary advantages for cities, in implementing such campaign. Very important that increase the active levels of the active mobility increases improves the health. Contribute to this one, and of course motivates for further mobility change, behavior change. So switch works, and I think we should all take it further. I personally took it as a base in another project in Horizon 2020 in Civitas, in the now a new round of Civitas, when I will look into the how health is going and how health will be an important factor for tourists. In tourist destinations. So switch works, and I want you to, to be encouraged to use it, okay? If you need more information, don't worry, I'm here, my colleague is here. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, because I was too late.